So we continue. I said the two conditions. Number one, you cannot find, you searched and you could not find Muslims that would obey or that are willing to obey Allah and His Messenger to the core, which is to the best of their abilities, which is in terms of coming to work without doing things like smoking and free mixing and listening to music and the women not covering up well, doing tabarruj makeup, exposing of the body parts that are not legislated in Islam to expose to non-mahram. So in this kind of situation, then you searched and you could not find, right? Then you can now employ a non-Muslim man or woman. Then condition number two is that you have pure intention. You don't behave like others of which they follow their desires. So let's say now they have a Muslim woman who covers with the hijab, right? She covers up, she's doing what is legislated in Islam. But because she covers up with the hijab, so customers don't really, or the male customers of the business, they are not really coming. They don't really come because of the way she presents herself. So they don't really like the fact that she's covering up. They prefer that she's, all in makeup, exposing of maybe a bit of hair or a bit of this, a bit of that, and then smiling also, exposing her charms, right, to the men. So because of this, then they did not really want to come to the company to purchase products, right? They don't want to patronize the company because the lady in the front desk is not abiding by it's not abiding by what they want. She's abiding by the Sharia, what Allah wants, but she's not abiding by those people's desires. So because of this, then they now stop patronizing the business, and then the sales of the business maybe drop. Because of this, then the employers, they now follow their desires, and then they sack this woman who is not who is covering up well, abiding by the hijab. So they get rid of her, and then they bring a non-Muslim woman who does not abide by the hijab, who exposes her hair and makeup and all whatnot with a charming smile. So they do this by following their desire. So this is not a good intention. This is prohibited. So it's when you have a clean intention. You searched, you could not find a Muslim that would abide by the Sharia, that would, obey Allah and His Messenger to the full of his ability or her ability, and listen to you when you advise, and when she or he makes mistakes, and then you advise, they don't want to listen. So when you could not find somebody in this category that is obedient to Allah and His Messenger to the full extent, then you can now go ahead and find a non-Muslim with this kind of intention. So your intention is, you tried to find a good Muslim, but you could not. So you get a non-Muslim, even though they don't cover with the hijab, then you still purify your intention, and Allah knows already that you tried to look for the one who would abide by the Islamic rules. And when you bring this non-Muslim, if there's any opportunity that maybe you have, if it's a lady, then if you have a mahram lady, she can give her da'wah if there's any opportunity. But if there's none, then you did your best. So yes, so what do we learn from this? We learn that it's permissible to still employ a non-Muslim based on some conditions, but not that you followed your desire and you go look for a non-Muslim. No, you first try to look for a non-Muslim, and if you first try to look for a Muslim, and if you could not get, then you can now employ a non-Muslim based on the conditions that we've set in this video. And this is the fatwa that we got from the Sheikh, who was a student or was a student of Sheikh Al-Allama Abdul Muhsin Al-Abad, Hafidhahullah. So this is what we learned, and I decided to bring it here so I don't forget, and also if anyone can benefit. So the tag is employing non-Muslims. Employing non-Muslims. Barakallahu feek. Subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdik. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa ant. Wa astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.